Come on, everybody. Celebrate with me. Celebrate with me. We're back. You can't hear it? You can't hear it? You can't hear this? Oh no. Am I just dancing to nothing? Well, that's lame. If I was just dancing to nothing, thought you guys could hear me. Well, that killed the mood. Silent dancing. It's a silent disco. You guys didn't know it. I was doing a silent disco today. Anyway, look, that can't bring me down. That can't bring me down. Look, we're back. We're back, baby. We're back. Bam. We are back. Football is back, baby. Can't wait. Yeah, my mic's too good. I have too good of a mic. I don't know. It wouldn't do it. I don't know what happened. Killed the vibe, killed the moment. But you can't bring me down, baby. You can't bring me down. Ooh, today we are back, folks. Football is back. We've got real live football today. Oh, my heart. I can barely take it. I can barely take it. We have got the reigning Super Bowl champion, Kansas City Chiefs. They are playing the Baltimore Ravens. These two teams met in the playoffs last year. Conference championship game, if I remember correctly. Conference championship game. Good game too. 17-10. Pretty good. All right. Here we go. Gator says, thoughts on Henry over a half rushing TD. Rice over 5.5 receptions. Andrews over 4.5 receptions. Pacheco over 14.5 receiving yards. I like all of those lines. The only one that worries me a little bit is 5.5 is a lot for Rice. 6 receptions. That's a big ask. That's a big ask to have that. So that would be really the only thing that would be like the question mark for me. Like, could I see him getting 4 and 5 catches? Absolutely. I think he'll have a very solid game, but 6 is a big ask. So that would be the one of all of them that would just make me pause. You're right. He did. He averaged a lot last year, but they also didn't have Xavier Worthy last year. So that would be the one. Katie, hope you enjoyed time with the fam this past Sunday. That's right. That's right, my guy. That's right. Woo. See, Jordan knows the vibes. He's feeling the vibes. He gets it. He gets it. Made it. We made it. Another off season in the rearview mirror. Man, life is good. We're here. We're here. We are here. Look, I normally like to have quite a bit planned out. I do. I normally like to have quite a bit planned out for these shows. I like my show plan today is to be excited. That's the plan. Look, we're gonna answer questions. We're gonna talk about stuff, whatnot. But the show, like the point of the show today is to be excited about football. Now, if you have not joined the Nerd Herd, we this show that we do every week has now doubled. This is now a twice a week show. However, one of them is only for the Nerd Herd. One of them's only for the Nerd Herd. Yesterday, we went over some Travion Henderson tape. So if you're a guy that likes to watch tape, that's going to be a show for you. We're going to watch a lot of tape on that show. We're also going to be doing some interviews on that show. Normally, this is just your boy Garrett. We're flying solo. We're flying solo. But Gator, you're exactly right. I started dancing and just forgot that a show should be playing. Like, I don't care. As bad as that sounds, there's nothing else I care about right now than the fact that football is back. Oh my gosh. Woo! Man. Andrew says, I've got to say, this has been one of my favorite things that you do. I appreciate it, man. I hope you are a part of the Nerd, because then we get to hang out together twice a week. Not just once a week, twice a week. It's all vibes. It's all talking. It's all answering questions. It's all the fun stuff, baby. It's all the fun stuff. Caden says, what are your expectations for tonight's game? The expectations for me for tonight's game are, I think the Chiefs, after last year losing week 1, I don't think they like that. They're not used to losing. I think they're going to be much more prepared. See, Andrew's been a member for a couple of years now. See, my guy, this is virtual like fist bump right there. My expectations for the game tonight, I think the Chiefs come out much more effective than they did last year. The Ravens are no slouch. I think there's going to be some tricks up the sleeve for both these teams. I'm going to go with Chiefs over the Ravens 24-23. 24-23. Now, I'm going to put on my headphones. Let me see. Okay. All right. I'm going to put headphones here. There we go. All right. So here's what I'm going to do today. I thought about it earlier and I was like, nah, maybe that's weird. Today is meant to be a celebration, right? Today is meant to be me enjoying the day and getting to talk and hang out with you. So here's what I want to do. I know some of you guys are a little shy. And that's fine. That's fine. You don't even have to have your camera on. But I am literally going to, I've never done this before, but I'm going to do it today. I am going to post the link for the StreamYard. This StreamYard that I'm on right now. I'm going to post the link in the chat. When I do that, I invite you to come on. I invite you to talk with me about the season. I invite you to be a part of the show today because I just want to celebrate with you guys. So I'm literally doing it right now. I just posted the link to join this show right now, live on the air with me. And I think we can get up to like 10 people on here. Now, that might be a little crazy, but I'm willing to do it. If you're camera shy, you don't have to put your camera on. You can just talk. You can mute your camera. Look, I'm here for the chaos, baby. I'm here for the chaos. Gator's joined me on the show before. I know that. Gator and I go back. A few years. So I put it on the stream. And look, if nobody wants to come on and everybody's like, that's crazy, I'm too scared to join, that's fine. It's no problem. Ain't no problem, baby. Powerful says you're crazy. I like you, but you're crazy. That's a good old school reference right there. Here we go. Andy's with us. Andy, I'm adding Andy to the stage right now. Andy, my guy, how's it going?
Not bad. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, my man. How are you feeling with football being back?
I'm kind of obsessed, not gonna lie. My team is the Dolphins, which is exciting and terrifying at the same time because they're going to be electric, but they haven't proven anything in the playoffs. So kind of bittersweet. I want to see them ball out, and I want to see if Tua can make that next step or if Mike Daniels can scheme some stuff together. And all they've done is add more speed this past offseason. So it's going to be a fun team to watch.
Oh, for fantasy football purposes, I don't know that there's a more fun team. Like, fantasy football-wise, like, I just want as many pieces of the offense as I can get my hands on.
I think Jalen Wright is like super undervalued.
I absolutely agree. I have so many shares of him in my best ball leagues, just in case something were to happen. Even if not, there still might be games where he just rips off a 70-yard tutty. Like
I don't think anything needs to happen, to be honest, because A-Chain shouldn't be handling more than 15 touches a game.
Yeah.
And Mostert's kind of already at the age cliff. I know mileage, but that doesn't make your body younger. So
Right.
I think he sees the field sooner than a lot of people think.
No, I think you could absolutely be right. I think he'll get on the field decently early. You know, we'll see. It took 2 or 3 weeks last year to get Achane on the field. So they might do the same thing where they ease him in. But I think once he gets on there, it's going to be hard to get him back off. Like, they're going to want to keep him on the field. He's just such a good fit for this offense. So I am very excited. Now, as far as tonight's game goes, what's your prediction for tonight's game? I went 24-23 Chiefs. What are you going with?
I actually think the Ravens are going to upset them.
Ooh, okay. I like that.
I think the Chiefs are the better team, but I think the Ravens have a bigger chip on their shoulder from the past few years, and everyone basically telling them they're not going to go all the way. And they haven't. But they also, Mark Andrews being back, Zay Flowers, nothing happened with his allegations this offseason. I mean, they didn't lose anything really important to what they do.
No.
So
no, they didn't.
I think they're going to come out, and I think it's going to be like a 27-21 type of game with Ravens on top.
Okay. I like it. I like it quite a bit. And they added Derrick Henry this offseason, so maybe a little bit better rushing attack than we've had over the past couple of years as well, which would make it fun for sure.
Yeah, the past few years it seemed like when you get to the goal line, you pretty much know it's either Lamar trying something fancy or they're just going to stack as many people as they can in the middle of the box and just run at them.
Perfect.
It's kind of hard to do that when you have Derrick Henry.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to add Jake to the stage now. Jake, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, Garrett?
How you doing, my man?
I'm good, man. I'm a relatively new subscriber to your channel, and I'm on Central Time, so ironically is like a bad time for my lunch break, but I'm working from home, writing some emails. Saw you went live, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna hop on. Like, fellow Browns fan, I gotta hop on, support, man.
I love it. So you're a Browns fan. So as I bring Johnny onto the stage, tell me, what are your expectations for the Browns this season?
I think obviously it's going to all hinge on what Deshaun is able to do. There's some questions about how much I think he desires playing the game still. And, I think at this point he is still going off of his Texans resume. So, at some point, Stefanski, I believe in Stefanski. I think Andrew Berry's done a good job building out this team, especially on the defensive end. So he's got weapons. He's got Cooper. He's got Judy now. So we know the Chief can do his thing. So, I mean, it's just going to be a matter of he's got to put it together. He'll take the team as far as he's able to perform.
Love it. We've got some more homies in here hanging out with us today. So let's go around the horn real quick. We'll go to Johnny, then Jordan, then Jay. Johnny, then Jordan, then Jay. So Johnny, start me off here, man. Tell me your team, your expectations for him, and then give me your call for the game tonight.
Sure. So I'm a Rams fan, and for the game, I think I'm leaning Ravens.
Okay. Close one, or are they blowing it out?
I mean, I think it's going to be close, but I think I give the edge.
I love it. All right, Jordan, tell us your team, what you're excited about with your team this year, and then tonight's prediction.
Hey, what's up, Garrett? So I'm a Cowboys fan. My expectation for my team this year is we're going to kill it in the regular season, and then we're just going to suck in the playoffs. So I'll be realistic there.
I live in Dallas, so I'll be supporting that.
Nice. I'm over in Fort Worth. Not too bad. There we go. Yeah, but for tonight's game, I expect it to be a blowout. Got a lot of lines put on this, or a lot of parlays on this game.
Sure.
I do think the Chiefs are going to pull it out, though. I think they have a lot of speed on offense, and it's going to be a fun game to watch.
Love it. All right. Jay and I go way back. Jay, how you doing, buddy?
Good, brother. Good, man. And I saw you had this coming up, and then of course you throw that in the chat. I'm like, holy crap, this dude is about to blow up the world over this. I mean, this is like the. I was listening to our good buddy Andrew Cooper last night, and he was like, I don't understand why we even have yesterday, with it being, NFL kickoff eve. It's like Christmas Eve. Just stop. Let's just get to it. Quit having the eve part of it. Let's just go.
Let's get to the real thing, baby. So, Jay, tell us about your team this season and your prediction for the game tonight.
Oh, it's Tampa, man. We're NFC South division reigning champs. We'll do it again this year, and of course, kind of like Dallas, we'll get to the playoffs, and then we'll just we did what we had to do, what we wanted to do, and we're done. But that's fine. Tonight's game though is super interesting to me because the line on it is like 41 and a half, and I feel like it's going to hit the under, just with these two teams, because these two
they did in the playoffs.
Well, yeah, but there's a likelihood that they're going to meet again in the playoffs, and I don't know that they want to show everything all in the one game. So I'm more of that 21-17, 21-20 kind of where I'm leaning.
Okay.
And I think it's the Ravens that actually take this game, and I think it's going to be on the back of Derrick Henry.
Ooh, okay. I see you over there. All right, so we've got 6 guys here, including myself. We're going to start with Andy. Andy, give me your pick for the Super Bowl matchup and who wins it this year.
Oh, man. Starting out tough, right? All right. Honestly, I think the Chiefs go back. I don't think at the end of the day anything's going to stop the Chiefs from getting there.
Okay.
And to be completely honest, I honestly don't know who I had them playing. I really don't have anyone I think is just leagues better on the other side.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
God.
So
yeah,
just Chiefs against whoever, it doesn't matter. They just beat them.
Yep.
All right. I like it. All right, Jake, who you got, my man?
I think Chiefs go for the 3-peat.
Love it.
Yeah, I think my it's probably going to be a popular one, but I'm rooting for the Lions this year to make it all the way. I got to support the Lake Erie Bros, but I really like what they've done. I think JMO probably takes another step. Maybe not as into that dominant area, but I think as a whole unit on offense, they possibly take another leap. Jahmyr Gibbs should be a lot better. And then on the AFC side, obviously you have the Chiefs are the favorites. Until I see an NFL defense solve issues that the Chiefs are going to present, I think they have to be the heavy favorite coming out of the AFC. I mean, last year they put it together, and I mean their offense was struggling most of the year, and they had a great playoff run. They ended up finishing it out. It's tough to say. I think they're going to be even better this year. So those would be my 2 picks.
I love it. Now, you said that you're a Browns fan. Are you just a person that happens to be a Browns fan that lives in Dallas? Or are you from like Ohio originally?
So I'm actually from New York. It's a funny story. My dad, first Monday Night Football game between the Browns and the Jets, my uncle was like, 7 years old. My dad was like 4 years old. And my uncle was a Jets fan, and my dad was like, "Oh, I want to root for the Jets too," and he's like, "No, you can't." And so he rooted for the Browns. They ended up winning that game, and man, the rest is history. That's just something you're kind of born into. So being down here from Dallas, I've caught a lot of flack. I've kind of grown to hate the Cowboys a little bit because of it, but yeah, still a Browns fan.
Nice. All right, let's go over to Johnny. Johnny, what's your prediction for the Super Bowl this year?
Well, since I'm a Rams fan, I got to call it. The greatest show on turf is back.
Oh,
they're going to the Super Bowl.
I like it.
And I'm going to call it. It's going to be a rematch with the Bengals.
Oh, okay. All right,
Burrow's
who's winning
coming
it?
in healthy. Jamar Chase is there. T. Higgins is still there. They just got Jermaine Burton. It's going to be 2 powerhouse offenses.
Does do the Rams win it, or do the Bengals pull it off?
I think the Rams pull it off. I think it's their time.
I love it. That's a fun one. All right, Jordan. First of all, before you get into that, it looks like you got a little bit of a setup there yourself. You got a podcast or a show that you do?
You know, excuse me. I used to stream video games, some Rocket League, some COD, but no, this is honestly just my work setup.
Nice. That's a pretty legit setup for just a work setup. Look,
yeah, so a little bit
nice.
of test. I love it.
Hey, nothing wrong with that, my man. All right, who you got for the Super Bowl this year?
I got the Chiefs going back.
Okay.
For the same reasons everyone else has said. They're fast. They're going to present some problems to some other teams on defense. And then as much as I would love to see my Cowboys there, it ain't going to happen. I would love to see the Falcons get there.
Ooh, that's a fun one. That was one I was looking at as well.
Yeah, with Pitts, with Bijan, with Drake London, and now a competent quarterback. I would love to see them pop off this season and take it to the house. And then I do think the Chiefs would win it still, even with that matchup, though.
Yeah, I could see that. The if I had a dark horse pick, it would definitely be the Falcons this year, because our guy was talking about the Rams. This is a very similar blueprint to what the Rams did, and it's same coaching staff. Other than obviously Sean McVay, obviously, but same coaching staff that they had. What is it? Great defense, and they even added more pieces to it. Really good line, got some good weapons in the receiving game, and then they add a legit starting quarterback, which is what they were missing. So it's a very, very similar blueprint. So it would not shock me if the Falcons just kind of shocked the world and ended up going to the Super Bowl this year. So I think that's a fun call. Yeah. Jay, what you got for me, my man?
Yeah, so I just looking at it, and I this is maybe a little spicy, but the Denver Broncos, Seattle Seahawks. No, I'm just...
I was like, whoa! It took me a second to even process that.
No, I'm kind of. I've got 2 teams in both the AFC and NFC that I really, really like this year. Of course, Kansas City, which we already beat down. Miami looks really, really good, especially on the offensive side of the ball. You look at their defense, and you've got a shutdown corner in Jalen. That's going to be a very heavy passing or division in the AFC East. Mm-hmm. Maybe not a outright winner, but Miami is somebody that I'm keeping an eye on. And when it comes to the NFC, I don't know how you don't select Detroit here, but I'm going to go a little bit off and go Green Bay. 28 years ago, right. I believe it was 28 years ago was the last time that they won a championship with Rodgers. And that was also in New Orleans. And I have them.
I think that would have been Favre would have been 28 years ago.
I'm sorry. I think it's 18 years ago. Whenever Aaron Rodgers won it. 28 years ago. That's stupid. He'd in the league for 30 some odd years. That's awesome. But yeah, so I'm taking Green Bay and Kansas City rematch of what, Super Bowl 2 or 3?
Would have been one of the early ones there. Yeah.
So, and ironically, I think Jordan Love gets his ring.
Oh, Jordan Love gets it in the year 2 as a starter. That's pretty sexy. That would be pretty fun. All right. Now, for everyone still here, it looks like Johnny is kind of here, but it says his device isn't connected. So I'll just stick with you 3. We'll go back to Andy. Give me your MVP pick for the year. Now, this is not fantasy MVP. This is NFL MVP. So who's your NFL MVP pick for the season?
I know it seems like the cop-out answer, but I'm going to have to go Mahomes. I don't – his team improved. I don't see anyone that is going to – I mean, I think there'll be some challenges. I think Tua could. I think adding some more speed to it, I could see Tua challenging for MVP. But
I mean, he led the league in yards last year. So. Yeah, he led the league in yards last year, so it's possible.
I could see Tua maybe fighting for it. I could see Burrow if Chase decides to stay on the field.
Yeah.
And then I actually think my only other one that's kind of a dark horse, I do think is Stafford.
Okay.
I think that
I can
team
see that too.
is really set up to be kind of special this year.
All right. Let's go to Jordan. Jordan, what do you think, my man?
All right, I'm going to have a hot take here. I'm going to say Tyreek. I think he's going to reach the 2,000-yard mark, maybe even 20 touchdowns. That's a high bar, but definitely the 2,000-yard mark. I think we're going to have a non-QB for the MVP.
I would love that. I would love
amazing
to have a non-quarterback win it because it really has gotten boring. It's just like, what quarterback had a good season and led their team to higher expectations than we expect? Like,
yeah,
that's just what it is every single year. So, yeah, that would be a fun one. What do you got, my man Jay?
This is actually a pretty hard one for me because, like you just brought up, this has become a quarterback award, and it's kind of hard to go off the page of quarterbacks. I actually like Jared Goff this year. That offense is just going to be prolific as hell through the air. There is a likely chance that he hits 5,800 yards.
That would be amazing. I mean, he plays almost all of his games in a dome this season, which really helps.
14.
Crazy.
14.
Jeez. Unfortunately, 2 of the ones he doesn't are in weeks 16 and 17 during our playoffs.
Yeah, but you have to remember, even if they're prime time, he's not Kirk Cousins. He's better than Kirk Cousins.
True. Absolutely. No, that would be a fun one. All right. If I was going chalk, like I think the most obvious ones are probably Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. I think they're the most likely. But if I had to go with like a more fun dark horse, like I'm gonna go with Anthony Richardson this year.
Ooh.
Like Anthony Richardson could just light the world on fire. You added in a guy like Adonai Mitchell. There's been a lot of good reports about Josh Downs, although I know he might miss a couple weeks to start the season. Got Michael Pittman Jr. That offensive line is one of the top units in the league. It's really going to be a question about the defense. Can the defense hold up enough to get them enough wins to put him in that conversation? But he's going to have to probably do a lot of comebacks, a lot of big plays. And if he can make those big plays, all of a sudden his name could start creeping up. Now, the hardest part for him is just going to be the staying healthy. That's the biggest question mark, unfortunately, with a guy like Anthony Richardson. But he's kind of like my dark horse. If I was to put $10 on a random guy to win it, he's one that I would throw up there.
For my fantasy team, I hope you're right.
Me too. I have him in a lot of best ball leagues this year. So as you guys might see, we have people on here talking. I put the link to join in the chat here. So I'll paste it again in case anyone else wants to hop in or hop out or whatever. I want to give you guys an opportunity to get in. Today, the agenda is literally just have fun and talk about football. That's it. Like there's no games planned. There's nothing like that. It's literally just today football begins and we want to celebrate that. That's the agenda here. So any one of you guys that are up here right now, I'll let anyone answer. So for you, give me your best fantasy football starting lineup for this season for your dynasty teams. Give me your best starting lineup.
The best one we have, or the best one possible?
The best one that you have. The best one that
got you. Go ahead.
I've got a pretty busted roster, and actually, it's
you might have cut out there, Andy. We heard you, and then we didn't.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yep, we can hear you now.
Okay, that was weird. All right,
Yeah,
so what I was saying is my first dynasty league ever was in my home league, and my team was trash. And I forget which one of the nerd herd told me, but it might have been Rich. Basically saying if you're middle of the pack, just sell everything, essentially.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I sold out for the 2020 and the 2021 class, and my team now is sitting at It's a 12-team PPR, 1 QB. My quarterbacks are Burrow and Stafford.
Nice.
My wide receivers are Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Nico Collins, Puka Nakua, and then Jalen Waddle.
That's filthy.
So-
That is a filthy receiver core.
When Nico's your number 6.
Yeah, it is bad. And then running backs, I'm not as whatever there. I actually just traded away Brees Hall, which was hard to do.
Oh,
But
okay.
yep, I've got starting right now. I've got Derrick Henry, James Conner. Then my bench, I have Aaron Jones, Brian Robinson Jr.
I'm curious. What did you trade Brees away for?
So I traded Brees away for Trey Benson, a 2025 first that's likely to be top 3.
Okay.
And I already own another pick that should be likely top 3. So I was kind of hunting for the 101 a little bit. And I also own James Conner. So it made sense. Either he takes over the backfield for next year or they extend Conner and I have his handcuff. So
Okay. I got you.
and then I also got
you.
a 26 first on as well.
Okay, good. I was going to say that's a little light in the britches for me, but getting that extra first and Benson with one of those picks being top 3, that feels good. That feels like a good deal. I have no issue with that.
I don't think Hall's value will ever be higher. So it's kind of one of those moves of just, I'm going to get what I can.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, that's
what do you got at
most
tight
of
end?
it. And then at tight end, I've got your guy, Cole Kmet. I know you're a fan. But then I've also got Trey Benson, or I've also got Trey McBride as well.
There you go. Yeah. As much as I do love Cole Kmet, always been a big fan of his. I've had to come to the realization this year, even though he had a solid season the past 2 years, this year, the targets are just not going to be there. There's way too many mouths to feed. So I've actually, as much as it breaks my heart, I've been selling a lot of my Cole Kmet. I can't justify it as much as I used to. So Jay or Jordan, when do you guys want to give me your best starting lineups?
Quick question for you, Garrett. What are you selling Kmet for? Because like in most leagues, where I have him, I usually have like a Laporta or somebody to go in front of him, and he's just an extra body right now, and I can't get him off my rosters in some leagues. Everybody's like, no. I'm not paying.
That's true.
Money.
That's true. Maybe selling wasn't the right term. Maybe it's I've been acquiring other guys to help make sure I have a good because I've only moved him once this summer, and it was during a draft for a late second. So
okay,
he's kind of like an Evan Ingram. He's hard to move, even though he has. To those of us that like look at the stats, he has great numbers.
Yeah, he put up a really, really solid year. Like I had him as my starting tight end on a few contenders that won chips. So like he had a good year last year. But yeah, he's likely to regress quite a bit. I think it'll be tough for him to crack the top 12 this year. Maybe he does, but if so, it'll be at like 11 or 12.
Yeah, and my concern with Kmet is it's going to be touchdown or bust for the most part.
Yeah. Yep. That's fair. He does kind of fall into that tier of those kind of guys now. So, all right, which one do you want to go next? Give me your sexiest starting lineup.
I've got a Rich, Caleb Williams, Kyler Murray as my 3.
Nice
Bijan Robinson, nobody, crazy here, but Bijan Robinson, Aaron Jones, Jerome Ford, Brian Robinson, DeAndre Swift.
Okay.
Wide receivers are a little bit light with Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors, Puka Nakua, Chris Olave, AJ Brown. Let's see who else is on here. Cortland Sutton, Keon Coleman, Curtis Samuel. Again, light. Tight ends are Sam Laporta, Pat Freiermuth, Evan Ingram.
Nice. I like that squad. All right, Jordan, what do you got for me, my man?
So this is my first team ever. Well, from a couple years back. Now I'm in 4 or 5. I love it. And thanks to the Nerd Herd for all their help. But this is a 12 by 10 super flex, non-tight end premium. And I'm sitting here with A-Rich. No, I traded. Now I'm questioning. Yeah, A-Rich, Kyler Murray, and Jalen Hurts as my QBs.
Nice.
which is nuts. Running back, I'm sitting here with Bijan and Brees.
Nice.
Wide receiver and tight ends where I'm stacked. Tight end, I have Trey McBride and Evan Ingram. Had Bowers, but ended up moving him for a couple different wide receivers this offseason. So I'm sitting with Marvin Harrison, Puka, Mike Evans, Drake London, Jalen Waddle, T. Higgins just sitting there on the bench. I'm super happy with this team.
Yeah, as you should. As you should be.
Going for it all this year.
I'm having a hard time deciding which one I like the most. There's two teams that I'm torn with. So I'll give you the one QB I like the most and the Superflex I like the most here. So the Superflex team that I like the most that I have right now, starting quarterbacks, I've got Anthony Richardson, Tua, and then Jared Goff as my third one. Running backs, pretty good spot here. Brees Hall, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor, DeAndre Swift, and then I also have Trey Benson, who I like for the future. Wide receivers, we're looking at Malik Neighbors, Michael Pittman Jr., Jalen Waddle, Devonta Smith, and then on the bench, Amari Cooper, Xavier Worthy, Terry McLaurin, and then tight end, I got Kyle Pitts. So that's probably the super flex that I like the most. Then the one QB that I like the most is Jalen Hurts as my starting quarterback. He's paired up with A.J. Brown, which I like as well. So at receiver, I have A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Mike Evans, Keenan Allen. Running backs, Jonathan Taylor, Devon Achane, and then Travis Kelce as my starting tight end. So tough to decide between those two, but that's the one QB and the super flex that I enjoy the most. Let's see here. Once again, I put the link in the chat. You don't have to show your face if you just want to come up and talk, ask a question, anything like that. All right. So for the guys that are, yeah, go ahead, Andy.
I was gonna say I had a question because this is kind of for all of us in the chat, or because I've seen a few of us have him on our teams. What do people feel about Jamar Chase right now? I mean, I know a few of us even say we have him on our teams.
Yeah.
Because at this point, it's looking like a real possibility. There might be a whole lot into season.
Yeah, he's a tricky one. It was good to see that he did actually show up to practice in uniform yesterday. Yes, it was only on a limited basis. For me, if I'm doing anything right now, I'm trying to acquire. Because if there is anyone that is panicked and I can get a discount, I'm going to do it because I feel like this deal gets done sooner rather than later. And worst case scenario, you're making a deal for a 24-year-old receiver that's going to be tied long-term to Joe Burrow. Like, I don't see a situation where Cincinnati just lets him go or trades him or anything like that. Like, he's going to be a Bengal. He's going to be with Joe Burrow. And more than likely, T. Higgins won't be here next year. So with all of that, I think, yes, short term, it sucks and it's scary. And could I see him getting off to a slow start by not being in camp and like all of those things are a real possibility. But long-term outlook for me, I'm still very much so in. Go ahead, Andy.
I don't think anyone's actually concerned about his long-term. Not really. Even the people kind of freaking out. I think it's more the contenders you're almost able to take advantage of, if anyone.
Yep.
But I know example for myself as being a contender, as we just talked about, I have a very loaded wide receiver room. So I can weather, even if he did miss a few games. But some teams might not be able to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially the more competitive teams.
No, that's absolutely true. You know, if you're sitting there and you're like, yeah, I got Amon-Ra and Jamar Chase, I'm feeling great. But then after that, it's like, then my wide receiver 3 is Xavier Worthy and Jaden Reed, and like they're good, but it's losing some production there. Like that's where it gets a little bit scary. If that's me, and I have Jamar Chase, and I have not the deepest wide receiver room to be able to weather that storm as a contender, what I'm doing is I'm taking a hard look at one of my draft picks, and I'm saying, who has Keenan Allen? Who has Mike Evans? Who has Devontae Adams? who has a guy like that is still going to put up for another year, at most 2, good numbers, but you're able to get at a reasonable discount at this point. Cooper Kupp's another one that I would consider in that group. Like guys like that. That's the move I'm trying to make if I need a little more depth at the wide receiver position.
Garrett, here's the thing for me is just like most people, I am not worried about Jamar Chase when it comes down to this contract. He's still got 2 years, I believe, left on his deal. So he's just pushing. But you look back over history and these deals either get done or you get put into this little bubble known as the Le'Veon Bell bubble. And that's not a good bubble to be in. But when you look at what Jamar Chase did last year, just starting off the year, it was a slow start then in the first couple of games, right? Yep. But if you are a Jamar Chase manager and you are worried about it at all in any way, shape, or form, go look at Andre Yoshivas. He's set up to be the number 3, and if Chase is not there, he's easily going to be the number 2 behind Higgins, right? And he's basically free right now.
Yeah, no, he's definitely an interesting name to keep in mind there. Jason is also talking about Terry McLaurin. Totally in on Terry McLaurin. That was actually one of my hot take guys for this year when we did our bold prediction show, that I think that there's a path for Terry McLaurin to get his first ever wide receiver 1 season here with Jaden Daniels this year. So yes,
who else they passed him to?
Yeah, exactly. There's nobody else there at this point to throw the ball to. So, and we've seen it fairly often lately where a young quarterback comes in and an established veteran has one of the best years of their career under this new young guy. Look back as far as, 10, 15 years ago, you had Cam Newton and Steve Smith. A little more recently, you had DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray. Last year, CJ Stroud and any of those guys, but Nico Collins, Justin Fields with DJ Moore. Like this kind of stuff has happened fairly consistently over the past few years, where the young quarterback comes in or the new veteran receiver comes in to the young quarterback, and it just changes things. It just changes things for them. So, I'm all about Terry McLaurin and have no qualms about paying and maybe even slightly overpaying compared to what the typical market is right now, because I think he's undervalued. So I'm willing to give fair value, even if I had to get him on my squad. So guys, we are going to be wrapping up here. Any parting thoughts from any one of you 3? I appreciate you guys hopping on, and the other 2 guys that joined us as well earlier. I think it was Jake and Johnny that joined us. Appreciate those guys as well. So any parting thoughts from you guys as the first ever guests on the Dynasty Lunch Break Show?
No, just thanks for the opportunity. It's been fun. I love these videos every Thursday. I had to think about what day it was.
I get you, man. I get you.
Garrett, it's always good to get on with you. You know that. I really appreciate you. Love you very, very much. Parting shot would be Drake May as Bo Nix, offensive rookie of the year.
Oh, I was loving the Drake May, and then you went with the Bo Nix and you switched it up. All right. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, hanging out with us on the Dynasty Lunch Break Show. Appreciate each and every one of you guys, especially Andy, Jordan, Jay, Jake, and Johnny for hopping in, hanging out with me today. Best of luck in all your Dynasty leagues, all your redraft leagues, your DFS, your best ball, your bets, whatever you have going on concerning the NFL. Best of luck this season. Love you guys, and we will see you later.